G'day, my name's Chris and welcome back to the Elusive Plants YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a bog for your Colocasia plants or your water plants in general. If you don't know what a Colocasia is, just look behind me. These are all of the ones that I have, most of them. Let me give you a better view. We have Colocasia Pharaoh's Mask. Over the back we have Heart of the Jungle. Up front we have Blue Hawaii, I think it's called. At the front we've got Lime Gecko. Here we've got the teacup Colocasia, which is fun because when it fills with water it tips out. And then we have Colocasia Milky Way. And then over here we have Colocasia Black Magic, but it's not living its best life, and some random succulent. Who thought that you could basically grow a succulent in water? Not me. And yes, I am wearing the Elusive shirt again. Please buy it, elusiveplants.au. So let's just jump right into it. What is a bog? A bog is essentially like a swamp. It's mostly made up of like peat moss and just decomposing sphagnum moss and things of that nature. It's just basically decomposing organic matter. And Colocasia thrive on it. I'm also going to chuck in a carnivorous plant. I've got a sundew that I'm going to chuck in with the Colocasia just as an experiment for myself because I know that they're also bog plants. So I'm just going to see if it will survive in there or die. My money is on die, but hey, who knows, we can just give it a go. I cannot urge you enough to only do this in the warmer months though. Spring is preferable because Colocasia are very temperamental plants. At the drop of a hat, they will die. For no rhyme or reason, they will just lose all their leaves and not come back. They're very, very annoying like that. But once they're established, it's very hard to kill them and they will just take off. I remember this year back in like maybe May, I started making some bogs and I would put in a Colocasia Dark Shadows into a bog and it just died. It just rotted away over winter. So definitely recommend doing this in the warmer months. Somebody actually recommended that I make a bog video, but I can't remember who it was, so I am sorry. And I'm sorry that it's also taken me so long to do this. It has been months since she requested it, but I needed to wait until I got a new Colocasia for myself because I didn't want to just make one and then have the same Colocasia in two different bogs because they do grow insanely quick. As you can see, like these have only been in here for maybe like 8 months and they're already almost taller than me. The teacup one is already taller than me. And yeah, it's only been like 8 months. They go crazy when they're in bogs. But for this video, I've got a Colocasia White Lava, and I've only had this plant for 2 days, and you can see it's already starting to die off because they're very temperamental plants. They're a pain in the butt. So the sooner we get this in a bog, the better. So the things that you're going to need are a storage container. I cannot stress enough, do not get the clear ones. They're cheaper, but they decompose in the sunlight because these are going to be in direct sun. Colocasia are sun plants, they need direct sun. They decompose and become so brittle so quickly that I'm scared to move any of these plants. The containers just fall apart. So I've got one that's heavy duty now. It's 80 litre, and I read it when I got home. It's only meant for storage sheds and like garages, which is stressing me out because I don't want to have to repot them all eventually again because the containers are falling apart. But hey, we'll give it a go. I got this big one here, it's 80 litres, so hopefully it doesn't decompose on me. It's one of those things that you're better off spending a little bit more money on just for longevity. I think these ones were like $5 when I first got them. That one I think was $13. The ones up from that were like $50 or something, and I'm like, I'm not spending that much money. But you can get all of these components at Bunnings, so it's very easy to go get them. Anyway, you need a storage container. You need something to put a hole into the storage container. I use a soldering iron. I found a drill cracks the plastic sometimes. Soldering iron, don't breathe in the fumes, but it is the best way to do it. You're going to need cocoa peat. You're going to need dynamic lifter. You're going to need some mulch, some cane mulch, something like that. And you're going to need some compost and a spade if you don't want to get your hands dirty. So step one, and we're not in the best space right now, you can't really see, but you want to get the soldering iron. If you can see that, I don't even know if the lighting's good in here, but we'll work with it. You want to get this, and then you want to put a hole in the container around about halfway, maybe a little bit higher, which would be approximately here. See how easy that is? Oh, don't breathe that in. Stanky. This is just so then it doesn't get too full with water when it rains and stuff. Oh my God. because Lord knows we don't want to flood the plants completely. Colocasia need their roots wet, but not the entire plant. And then you want to go roughly about the same high up on the other side. I can't breathe. See how easy that was? Can you actually see that? I think you can, yeah. So yeah, both sides done. Let's get out of here where we can breathe. Another tip I have is make the bog where you're going to leave the bog, because once it's full and it's got water in it, they're impossible to move. Very hard anyway, and I've just hurt my back, so I'm not moving it once I put it down. It's going here. I'm not going to worry about cleaning it all. It'll just decompose. Things will tidy it up. Life will go on. Yeah, it's just going to go right here next to the other ones. So the first thing that you want to do is put in a few centimeters of sugarcane mulch, and hopefully there's no creepy crawlies in your bag that's been sitting in there for about a year. There's no measurements with this, just eyeball it. Doesn't really matter too much, it'll decompose over time. The next thing you want to put in is a generous amount of compost. Probably, I'm just going to use the whole bag. I don't want this sitting around anyway. Like I said, there's no exact measurements. Next, you want to put in like a fair amount of dynamic lifter. Just a thin layer, you don't want to go too crazy. And then you want to put in some cocoa peat. Cocoa peat's so good, I love it. I'm using about half a bag, but don't listen to exactly what I say. Just do what you think is best. If you use less compost, then you'd use more peat, and vice versa. It doesn't really matter too much exactly with what you use. And then you want to get your spade and just sort of try and mix it all about and get it a little bit combined. What is that? Mentos, good. It doesn't really matter because over time it's all gonna break down and combine anyway. Roots will go everywhere. And then you want to get your plant and put it in. Also, don't forget your sundew if you're going to do that. You probably won't. I've never re-potted a sundew, so I don't know what I'm doing. I could be about to kill it. Let's just put it here. Cute. And then you just want to get more sugarcane mulch and just make a layer. This will help water to not evaporate and keep it in there a bit longer. I only water these plants, I mean I do it once a week, I top them up once a week, but they will go longer without it because there's so much water in it. But then also some Colocasia are a bit different. They will be more thirsty than others. I've noticed that the heart of the jungle drinks so much more compared to like Pharaoh's mask, which barely drinks anything. And then lastly, you just want to fill it all up with water. And I mean fill it up. Fill it up until it's running out the sides. See, this is what I mean. You want to keep watering it until water is running out the sides. And then you're done. To be completely transparent with you though, this doesn't always work. This isn't a surefire way to get your Colocasia to thrive. Like I said, Colocasia are very temperamental plants sometimes, so you could put them in that bog. This one right now could be put in that bog and then within a week it'll die. The more mature the plant, then your chances are higher of it succeeding and rooting into the bog and then thriving. But initially, we don't know what's going to happen. So do all of this with a grain of salt. I've had probably like 90% success rate. It's not 100%. The only plant that I have lost is the dark shadows that I did mention earlier. Everything else has taken off except the black magic. I think it's in a bad spot maybe. I don't know. Anyway, full sun, water once a week or so, top it up, and then you should be fine. Everything should, in theory, thrive, take off, grow, taller than you probably. And it's so easy to take the pups out when they start popping. You just dig your hand in, grab them, done, easy. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Leave a comment below and I will reply. I've rushed through this video because it's been raining all day and I'm just trying to get this done before it rains all over the place. I'm also sweating like a madman because it's so humid right now. But yeah, like I said, if I've left anything out, leave a comment. I will answer it as best as I can. I think I've covered everything, but because I have rushed through it, guaranteed I forgot something. But if you did find it informative, then please give me a like, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Hey, be like, hey, let's make bogs together. Sounds like a good time. Have a bog and wine night. All right, thanks for watching. See ya.